Alright, circuit repair Augusta, just doing a little quick prep work before we truly get started on this. Got a little bit of free time between appointments and received this today. I wasn't even going to queue it until Friday, as tomorrow is 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to anyone watching this video tomorrow. And let's go ahead and we're going to put on gloves. I had actually already started on this repair, and then decided, you know what, I'll go ahead and make a quick video out of it, something to get a video in before the holiday. I'm trying also a new split screen view with my microscope and my Logitech camera. Don't know if I quite like the setup of the Logitech, which is our big view where you see this whole setup here. But just to show what we've found so far, and all we've done is we've taken off one top plate. Let's see if we can show everybody what all we're looking at here. We'll do a little bit of cleanup. I don't want to clean too much before I got this video going. Let's go ahead. Let's start at the top. How about that? Alright, so this iPhone was reported as being dropped at the beach. It landed in some wet sand, not even a full submersion. And when it was taken to, I forget where the customer reported that they had taken it to, the water indicator that they checked gave no indication of having water damage. Obviously, though, with the phone not wanting to turn on, we knew something was going on with it. We knew that more than likely it did have water damage. It is just, I think they checked the lower panel for water damage. They did not check this upper panel, which we can clearly see here. That water damage indicator is on full alert. You can see it again there. I mean, it's visible to the naked eye that there's crud throughout this. There's also some crud on the back side. We'll flip it. And if we take a look, now underneath our chipset here, let's go ahead and we'll just clean this up a little bit. I haven't opened up the ZXW yet. Now there we go, we've got our A9 showing. Let's see, is that visible to you all? And give me 1 second. Alright, so we've got our air extraction on. I think now I can clearly see. I'm getting a bit of haze from the light on my screen, so I couldn't tell, but yes, it does show the A9 in the video screen. And as you can see, the side of these chips has a nice bit of buildup as well. And here at the top, and I need to flip and rotate this image so that I'm doing it in the direction as I see it. We've got some nice little goodies of gook there. Now, in furthering our prep work, we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove this little protective layer. As you can see, it's just kind of all around there. We want to get all this cleaned up because we know that we've got water damage in this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our hot air. We want to use a low temperature and a fairly good amount of airflow. Basically, we don't want to heat anything past its tolerances and make problems harder for ourselves. But heating up these little connectors here. I'm sorry, not the connectors, the coverings here. Protective isolation. We should be able to get most of this off. Let's go ahead and just pull that. Basically what we're just trying to do is soften this up. Without there we go. I think we're in a better, I think I was getting out of the view of the camera there. And I have buttered these tweezers. These are, you know, just some cheap tweezers, something that if I mess up, I don't mind it. We're just going to use these to kind of give this little sticky a wiggle. And this is really all we want to do. We don't want to apply hard with pressure. We're just kind of lightly gliding over the top of the chips. And it's slower this way. It's a little more tedious. But by doing it this way, we won't cause any damage. And we'll get all those chipsets exposed. And if by some chance something does knock off here and there, it's not that big of an issue. Stuff is so sticky. The part I hate the most and also kind of enjoy. I don't know, there's at times something methodic about it. You don't really have to think, you just have to do. So you get a little bit of resistance. See, in here I wasn't really fitting. So what I did was I just kind of backed it up, went a little slower. And I may have a chip there. I don't think I've ever had a time where something didn't come off. But as long as we're not taking off lots and lots and lots of chips, we're usually doing pretty good. 1 or 2 is okay. 5, 10, 20, 30, that's when you get yourself in trouble. Alright. Getting close to probably switching over to just a bristle brush and some isopropyl. But I want to try to get a little bit more of these clumps out of the way. By the way, just my initial thoughts is we're going to be looking at a full-on data recovery. I was thinking maybe we just had penetration of water through the charge port and our water damage would be isolated. But the fact that a lot of our water damage was concentrated around this way, something I did before I decided to make the video was I did a power on test with battery connected, without battery connected, then using obviously bench power for the without battery connected. Then I took the screen off and reran bench power. With the screen connected, the system would power up. It would get around to about half an amp as it sketched up or started to tick up, and then it would shut off. When I disconnected the display altogether, it actually no longer powered up, but we would slowly and steadily get a climbing amp that would, I basically killed it once it started getting over 2 amps and was still rising. I mean, it probably would have just kept running until it fried everything. It's just kind of an interesting issue to see this steady, slow rise in amps, where it just looks like they were going to keep on going up infinitely over time. And that's probably a short to ground that as it heats up, gets more and more open and well, not open, but more and more closed and better able to conduct between that short. At least that's my hypothesis at the moment. Now this stand holds our board and it serves 2 purposes. One, it's going to hold the board steady and give us some weight to make sure that it doesn't wiggle around on us too easily. But 2, it also acts as a little bit like a thermal heat sink. So it's making contact to those chips on the opposite side of it, and that should help to keep our thermal runaway from happening where our solder balls start to get wet. And we're only at about 145 degrees Celsius on a medium to high airflow. So we're well below the melting temp for this solder. And we could go higher without having to worry about the solder melting, but we would have to worry about board flex. So I like to stay in that temp range under 150. That allows me to kind of be generous with my hot air and not have to worry about causing any damage. As you can see, it's just a slow, tedious process. Getting ready to stop this little part here. Like I said, I'm going to grab a stiff bristled brush, and then we're going to do some additional cleanup to try to get some more of this loosened up debris out and off from where it's at. All right. keep saying I'm going to switch and then I don't, but now it is that time. Okay, so we've got, this looks like a good one. And we can just get that isopropyl right down on the board. Especially with that heat, it's just going to, one, help to cool it, and two, it's going to bake off real quick. Get us back in camera. Not sure why, I guess just the way I have this set up, I thought that was more, okay, it likes to be more this way. I must not have that truly centered the way that it requires to be on this split screen. We're just going to kind of brush that little anchor point there out of the way. The board starts moving on us a little bit without being pinned down, but I wanted to try. Come on, get out of there. This epoxy stuff that they use to seal these components, it's good stuff except for when you want to take it off. I'm sure there's probably some industrial chemical that could strip this stuff right off, but as far as I know, no one's found what it is for the Non-Billionaires Club. When I say the Non-Billionaires Club, I'm referring to major manufacturers. I have looked at potting components and other chemicals and the price points that these things sell at. I mean, they want you to buy 5-gallon tubs, and they cost $1,000 to $10,000 for 5 gallons of it. And again, that's the advertised price. That's not the, I'm going to buy 10,000 tubs because, again, I'm a billion-dollar multi-manufacturer, or multi-billion-dollar manufacturer. They're then going to get probably what I would consider to be the real price, and everything else is just the markup so that when those companies come knocking, they go, yeah, sure, we'll give you a discount. All right, so I wanted to take off from here as well. See if we can, where'd you go? I wanted to take that off as well. We've got, I don't know if it's as visible, but there is some water tracks here above this. Yeah, you can definitely see that in your camera feed from the microscope. So that top side where it looks a little hazy, a little cloudy, that's the water damage. So if you're seeing that on a device, you definitely got an infiltration of moisture, and you need to get that resolved because it's not going to fare well for your device. All right, so clamping that back in, we're going to go ahead and pull back out our hot air. I just want to go ahead and we're going to lift this here with a little bit of hot air, just so that we know that we've made everything accessible that needs to be. It should have very little to interact with over here. And it looks like it may be sealed up pretty good. So probably not going to have a problem. But we're going to go ahead and expose these little chips so that if they do need to be treated, and I almost forgot, we want to be careful around this little guy here. It's very easy to break. Those are, I forget what the material is called, but it would kind of be like a silicate, almost like a glass, or I guess maybe it could be ceramic. Not sure if we looked it up, it would tell us the compound, but they basically will crack, and then it will hairline fracture, and you won't even know it. You'll have to get that microscope in real close. Try to use these little holes here as scrapers. Nope. Gonna have to put our fingers on it. Okay. Almost got this last little piece. Trying to lift enough of it from the bottom. And there we go. Alright, we might just pinch in here real quick just to check out these more sensitive chips. And while we're down here, we're going to go ahead and get this. There we go. And let's get this. Alright. We look good on this front. I don't think we overexerted any force to that chip. As long as I don't do so now. Oh, I see something. It's a little wonky. Oh no, I think that was just a reflection. That one looks like it might have an edge cracked on it. It's okay though, we've got these that we can replace. We just pull them from a donor board if necessary. It's been a little bit since I've done one, so I can't remember if it's going to be necessary for the purpose of data recovery. But at least now we have access to this area so that we can test and probe these points. And make sure water damage hasn't caused any issues for us. Alright, so we've got that. We want to pull back out our little brush here. And as you can see from the next side, all I've done was taken the little black cover off of them. I have not even actually removed their little encasing. And we're just flipping this over so that we can get to the other side, and we're going to take a look at what damage we had on this end of the board, or this side of the board. Alright, making sure everything is clipped in and secure. And it looks to be. And then what we're going to do now is just a quick scan over this area. There was actually, when removing these, in fact you can see a little bit of it here, there was a bit of buildup around this area, but from heating the other side and having flux on these edges from when I removed, it's just kind of drained around, and the heat has allowed that by itself just to do a little bit of cleanup. But you can also see right here, we had some debris. This had a nice kind of like dirty cover to it. Now this is just glue that went to our antenna connectors. Let's go ahead and pull this guy off. And now this chip here is sealed, and I doubt highly that the seal was broken in order to allow moisture to penetrate underneath. So this is an epoxy resin sealed chip. So is this one, and a lot of these components as well. I think probably where we saw some of that moisture buildup is right here on this area, where there is a bit of exposure for these higher sitting chips. Well, I guess chip might be an inaccurate description. It's what I like to call them, but we should probably just refer to them as SMDs, because a chip kind of implies more of an integrated circuit than it does a surface mount device, which can be anything. The surface mounts, at least. So you've got surface mount components, you've got through-hole components. You're not going to find really any through-hole components on a modern-day cell phone. Maybe some like ground mounts might still go through-hole, but I think even that is days gone. So just basically cleaning this up to see what we're looking at, and I'm going to check inside of this area here. We basically just want to look down into the angles, see if we see anything that stands out that suggests we really want to remove these in order to let the ultrasonic clean it up. But to be honest with you, I don't think water penetrated that portion of the board, and certainly don't believe that it's penetrated this lower area here. I don't know. So it looks like, other than, shorts cause shorts, which end up resulting in more shorts, and this over here we're going to pay attention to as well. This area did get exposed, but we'll come back to that. But I think our majority of our focus is going to be on the other side of the board, as we saw more of the debris build up there. We're going to have a little bit of attention we need to place here. And then we've got this guy, which took a big brunt of our water damage. And just to give you, again, let's see if we can grab the screen that went on to this device. I just set it down. All right. So, now this would actually be mounted on the other side like this. And if you want to take a look, let's take a look at these cables. All right, so here you can see the real cheesy goodness. This is all that Fromunda is right here on this cable, which indicates that that water damage infiltrated through our speaker. I doubt highly that a lot of it came through the edges unless this phone had been improperly sealed. But we can even see here where we're looking at water damage behind the speaker, this cable assembly. Obviously, these connectors just got trashed. So, looks to me like water infiltrated through the speaker. It then was wicked in and absorbed, and it pulled enough of it into this cavity that eventually, over time, it was able to run down in through this little cable line and hit this area, and it continued to trickle down and go in other directions, probably doing most of its damage here to this. But as we see, it also made it to the board level and hit some of these chipsets, and that's why just replacing this screen is not going to fix our issues. We have to figure out how much damage was accomplished through these connectors. We have to figure out, of these kind of sideline items, what damage they caused, and we're going to take that step by step, trace by trace. We're going to work our way through the issues of this phone. I'm going to try to record as much of it as possible, but just depending on how things go and with the holidays, when I get around to it, we may find that, you know, we do some highlights and we do some live and it gets mixed in, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, that's it for this little tear down, clean up, and pre-inspection. Next, we'll be scheduling this for diagnostic testing. And then after that diagnostic testing, we'll go through and attempt the repairs to try to recover data from this device. So that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment sections. If you like what you see in this video and want to see more of it, add a note for that in the comment section and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you get alerts and notifications when new videos are made. I am going to go ahead and load this into the separate sort and channel options just for iPhone devices. Again, this was an iPhone 6S doing saltwater, seawater preparation for data recovery. Take care, happy 4th to all, and I will see you on the next stream.